Cash is dying, quietly, slowly, but surely. Around the world, the green paper that once defined freedom is vanishing, replaced by glowing screens and silent transactions. Governments call it the future of money, faster, cleaner, more efficient. But behind that promise lies something much deeper, a shift that could redefine ownership, privacy, and control itself. We're witnessing the dawn of the central bank digital currency, the CBDC. It's marketed as progress, but it's also a system that can record, trace, and regulate every dollar you spend. The early signs are already here. Physical bank branches are closing at record speed. ATMs are disappearing. More stores refuse cash altogether. And apps like PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App are normalizing life without physical money. Behind the scenes, the Federal Reserve has been developing the groundwork for a digital cash system since 2014. In 2023, its FedNow platform quietly launched, built on the same architecture that could enable a future CBDC. A system designed not just for speed, but for surveillance. They tell us it's about inclusion and efficiency, that digital money will help the unbanked and make transactions faster. But beneath that language of progress is a different reality. CBDCs don't just represent money, they represent control. In a fully digital system, every transaction can be tracked, frozen, or even revoked. Money becomes programmable, it can expire, be restricted to certain locations, or be blocked for specific purchases. Imagine your funds being denied because your carbon score is too high, or because you donated to the wrong cause. The Bank for International Settlements, the global bank of central banks, has already outlined these powers, including negative interest rates, behavioral incentives, and even invisible wealth confiscation. The narrative says modernization, but the reality is monetary surveillance, written in code. For centuries, cash has been more than currency. It's been freedom, anonymous, private, and beyond the state's reach. The disappearance of cash removes that last defense against centralized control, and we're already seeing the consequences worldwide. In Canada, protesters' bank accounts were frozen without trial. In China, digital wallets have been suspended for political dissent. In Nigeria, citizens were restricted from withdrawing cash to force CBDC adoption. The same blueprint is quietly forming in the United States. Officially, it's about keeping up with innovation. Unofficially, it's about consolidating power, one digital dollar at a time. With a digital dollar, money stops being something you own and becomes something you're allowed to use. Every transaction could depend on approval from algorithms or from government systems. Your money could come with expiration dates to force spending. It could block purchases of gold, crypto, or politically sensitive items. It could even reward approved behavior and punish dissent, a financial, social credit system in all but name. These are not theories. They are outlined in research papers from the IMF, ECB, and BIS institutions openly discussing programmable monetary policy and behavioral nudging. Soon, financial data won't just track what we buy, it will predict how we think, shaping society through invisible incentives and restrictions. In the digital economy, your judge and jury won't be human. They'll be code. Algorithmic systems will determine who gets access to money, credit, or loans with no appeals, no hearings, and no accountability. Governments could issue emergency digital payments that dictate how and where you spend them. History has shown this pattern before. The Federal Reserve was born after the Panic of 1907. Gold was confiscated after the Great Depression. Crises always justify control, and the next financial panic may be the perfect cover for the birth of the digital dollar. The digital dollar won't stand alone. It will be linked to a digital identity. To use the system, you'll need to verify yourself through government IDs, biometrics, or online credentials. This ID will connect everything: your taxes, your medical data, your social media activity, even your voting records. Privacy won't disappear, it'll be redefined. Observation will become the law. Through this, monetary policy transforms into social control. Funds can be frozen instantly for political dissent. Credit can be restricted to enforce compliance. Punishment won't require police, just a transaction declined? Of course, there will be resistance. People will turn to crypto, to cash, to barter, but even those escape routes are closing fast. Governments are taxing, regulating, and restricting cryptocurrencies into submission. Retailers increasingly reject physical cash as risky or outdated. Anonymous transactions are being criminalized under the banner of anti-fraud measures. And soon, financial independence itself may be seen as a threat. What used to be called freedom is now labeled non-compliance. The system won't need to outlaw resistance. It will simply make it impossible to live outside it. The future of CBDCs isn't national, it's global. Through multi-CBDC bridges, international institutions like the IMF and BIS plan to connect these currencies into one unified global ledger, a single infrastructure for all transactions. National sovereignty will fade as algorithmic rules replace democratic decisions. Public messaging will celebrate innovation and inclusion, while behind the scenes, every transaction becomes a data point in a global system of financial governance. With no physical cash, negative interest rates will be unavoidable. You won't save, you'll be forced to spend. And as savings vanish, wealth will concentrate further into the hands of the few. The transition won't happen overnight. It will come disguised as convenience. Digital IDs will first be optional. Cash will still exist, but harder to use. Rewards will encourage digital adoption, until one day not participating will make you look suspicious. That's how freedom fades. Not with force, but with comfort. The digital dollar is not destiny, it's a design choice. One that could either empower humanity or enslave it under code. The technology for privacy, decentralization, and freedom already exists, it's just not being prioritized. Because once this system is complete, there will be no way to opt out. Democracy won't end with violence. It will end with a quiet message on your screen: access denied.